Hi viewers, good morning and welcome to Global Entertainment News, your breakfast show and daily dose of updates. I am your host Bella and joining me today in the studio is
Steven,
we'll be taking today's top story from Punch and the Vanguard newspaper and today's top story from the Punch. Begin drug test with politician NANS tell NDLA. The National Association of Nigerian Students on Thursday called on the National Drug Law Enforcement Agency to extend its proposed mandatory drug testing initiative to politician office holders and aspirants. NDLEA Chairman Bridge General Buba Mawa had repeatedly proposed drug integrity tests for couples, member and prospective couples and other groups as part of effort to curb substance abuse. Mawa restated the call on Wednesday during a courtesy visit by the Director General of the National Youth Service Corps, Brig General Gen. Olakunle Nafiu to the NDLEA headquarters in Abuja. He clarified that the tests were not punitive but preventive, aimed at the early detection and treatment for individuals who test positive.
to me, what the Nigerian Association of Nigerian Students are saying, I think I will buy what they are saying because it's not actually right for you to sideline one particular side of people and sideline the others. Checking the politicians. We all know in this country that aside the youth intake in the massive intake of job by the youth, after the youth, the politicians alone, the way they take job is even the way I see the capacity of job they even take sef can be measured the way the youth also take it. Because if you see where the politicians are together in their room together doing jobs, you like what's really happening. Because I will actually support the fact because you cannot just impose that kind of thing due to the fact you see the drug intake we use outside the society and everything. Telling them, bringing it out to us to tell us that the NYSC should go undergo this kind of job check and
Drug test
everything.
and all that. Well, trying to say that the students and the corporate member are actually involved in the country is something that really needed to be questioned because Nigerian right now are facing, let me say, there's a pandemic of drug in Nigeria that if one is not being caught of a parcel of cannabis or heroin and all that at the airport, and I feels like this thing does not just get into the country because of the layman that is taking drugs. It gets into
Yeah.
the country because of the higher binder that are involved in it. So if a layman can just afford 5,000 naira on, what do you think the higher binder is going to go for? So this thing really needs to go both way. Both the politicians, celebrities, to whoever you think that you feel so they are into drugs needed to be tested. Well, moving on. Electrician electrocuted in Oyo. A yet to be identified 28-year-old man was electrocuted in Erua, Ibarapa, local government area of Oyo State. Gathered that the deceased was electrocuted while rectifying a fault on the 33 kilowatt high tension cables at the Odi Baba Ode area of the town. The general manager of the state fire service, Yemi Akinyinka, confirmed the incident. The incident occurred when the victim electrician was trying to rectify an electrical fault on the active power line without shutting down the feeder.
I think it's a sad story, though, but it's actually very dangerous for an electrician to go into that kind of high volt trying to rectify an issue of electric problem. Just imagine 33 kV of high volt, the high tension wire. It's actually very, very dangerous. Touching it alone self can take you to another level. Instead of I just imagine how the family of that deceased is going to be
Is
feeling
going
right
to
now.
fail.
Because it's very, very sad to see. Cause of death might be There's some cause of death you see like what's really happening. Like you feel so bad of the person dying by accidents, dying by fire, dying by electrocution is one of the painful deaths that someone can ever imagine.
Well, I think that in Nigeria, I'm going to talk about this thing that there are some certain deaths that can actually be prevented in Nigeria. But when it comes to Nigeria, some people, some of them actually feels like they have this, how will I say, reverse energy that something bad cannot happen to them. When you see a driver going on a high speed and then you try to tell me they're going to be like, this is not the first time I've been driving. I've been driving for 35 years and then there's nothing, and this is the same speed I've been going. And then it feels like this person, they don't want it to prevent the death, but instead they wanted to go inside. Imagine going into a 33 kilogram voltage and then you can't switch off the feeder. That is as if that you are trying to threaten the death that if you are going to be electrocuted. There are certain measurements that you take when you know that you are going to be involving that something as deadly as that. You have to make sure that you put in prevention first. Don't just go into it. Put in the prevention. If you didn't put on the prevention, anything can happen.
Sure.
You are going on a boat. You didn't put on a life jacket, and then it feels like when you drop, if any accident happen, you are going to be safe. How? Wow, my condolences to the family. Let's move on. Cybercrime. Chinese suspect 40, 73 houses, 1,596 laptops. The Federal High Court in Lagos has granted the Economic and Financial Crime Commission an interim fortitude order for 73 properties and several gadgets, including 1,596 linked to cybercrime and money laundering involved Chinese suspects. Justice Denide Dipolu issued the order on April 23rd, 2025, in a suit marked FHCL MISCE 28/3/2025, following an ex-parte motion filed by the EFCC counsel BM Issa against Genting International Co. The 40th item include 1,596 computer laptop, 4,091 mobile phone, 350 foreign SIM card, and 3,399 Nigerian SIM card from various providers, including 1,122 MTN, 316 Nine Mobile, 1,299 Airtel, and 684 Glo.
Well, the rate at which this cybercrime, Chinese indigenes have taken over this cybercrime in our country, is as if they believe coming here alone is the best way that can secure them from this cybercrime. Because doing it in their own country, they feel the security there is very, very tight. The kind of server
Yeah,
they
exactly.
have there can detect them and this and that. But they believe doing it in this country, I believe for them to be caught is either and if someone linked the intelligence to someone to actually tell them this is where they are doing their operation. But for Nigerian government, I don't think Nigerian security can able to detect where these people are actually working.
Exactly.
For them to be able to do this job for a long time, stay in a particular place, grow that kind of network of having over 4,000 laptops, 4,000 phones, so many branches of technology for them to move into that business. I think they've been doing this for a very long time, and kudos to the authorities that actually got this linked up. And I think this is actually a good step to curb away cybercrime in society.
Yeah, cybercrime has been a threat in Nigeria, and I feels like many young youths this time around, because of the state of Nigeria, they feels like it's the best for them to go into it and then try to make some livings for themselves. But if you are being caught, you're going to face the consequences, and there is no pardon for it. Cybercrime is a sin, is a crime in the country. Well, let's move on. NEC postpones state police tackles despite surge in killing. National Economic Council on Thursday deferred talk on state police until its next meeting amidst the violent attack and bloodshed in parts of the country by Assam Governor Dunye Diri told State House correspondent after the council's 149th meeting at the Aso Rock Villa that the issues was on the agenda, but it could not be discussed in details as it was still far down on the list. State police was part of our agenda today, but unfortunately, because of time demanded and after a very long meeting, we have been there for a very long time now. The presentation could not get to that point. So I assure you that in our next meeting, that issue will be exhaustively discussed, the governor explained after the nearly 4 hour meeting.
Well, it's very, very funny for our leaders to tell us that they've been in a meeting for a long time. What are they actually being paid for? If you are you campaign telling us that you do this for us, you do this for us, you do this, you serve the nation, just 3 hours meeting and you're tired. And these same people will expect us to be expect the Nigerian student to be in lecture for 4 hours, for 3 hours in the lecture. If the Nigerian youth can actually sit down in the lecture, in the seminar for 3 hours, 4 hours, but having a meeting, and that same meeting, that same 4 hours meeting they are complaining about, there are breaks in between those meetings, like 30 minutes break. Sometimes they go on 45 minutes break. Just go around, take something. I don't know that for them to sit down and have a proper discussion for 3 hours is actually a bad deal for the nation.
They actually don't have the stamina to, should I say, the strength to sit down for 3 hours to have a meeting that concerns the state when it comes to bloodshed and all that. They feels like they still haven't concluded in it because it's going to end in nay or yay.
So
So whoever is a supporter,
I
whoever is
actually
an
believe that the reason why this agenda was actually cut off was because most of them don't have what to present.
they don't have
They don't have
anything.
what to present. They don't have a tangible reasons to what's really happening with the killings and everything happening around the sites. That's just my own
Well,
idea
I feels
about it.
like some of those things in Nigeria when it comes to forget about the politics, I feels like when it comes to understanding and comprehending some topic or valuable discussions, most Nigeria don't have that in mind because you can come up with a topic that actually valuable and should it's very easy, but you're still going to see some people that wanted to like they don't understand what do you mean. Some will even take it into another direction entirely that it doesn't even match with what the person is saying, and that thing is also affecting most of our leader that they don't even know how to come in with proper agenda, proper reasoning, proper investment that can actually last Nigeria for a long time. Well, let's move on. Women now trying to sell boy for 2.7 million. The Imo State Police Command has arrested two women while attempting to sell a kidnapped 4-year-old boy in Owerri for 2.7 million. The boy had been kidnapped in Abuja while hawking vegetables and transported to Owerri to be sold. Police spokesperson DSP Henry Okoye have gave the name of the suspect as Joy Ugu from Ida, Kogi State, and Rosella Mikel of Zamba in Abuja, while the third suspect in North is currently on the run. According to him, the suspects were arrested in Owerri, the state capital, following a secret operation by operative while they were trying to sell the boy for 2.7 million naira.
So I think this is actually well, I just imagine how some people actually the kind of conscience some people will have to be able to sell their fellow human being to after being kidnapped. This is it's two count charges, kidnapping and human trafficking. Because for you to be able to kidnap someone from Abuja, you kidnap someone from Abuja and took the person to be sold. Is the kind of conscience that those people have. Those people can actually kill somebody.
Exactly.
If you have that kind of conscience, you can actually kill. And I think the nurse that is even
In the
involved in
run.
this should be apprehended also. But she will be the one. She definitely the nurse has been doing this for a long time. It just caught up with her. For her to even have that mind to want to feel away, definitely she has been doing this for a long time. And I think the law really needs to take its course in this case.
And on the other hand, I feels like Nigerian has been moved into child labor at this time around because I can't imagine a 4-year-old child walking on the streets of Abuja. That is very, very disheartening. This child should be in school. Why would you? allow a 4-year-old child be hawking on the street. I know the country is really hard right now, but Nigeria has adapted into this child labor of a thing. You see a 2-year, 3-year-old child on the street and then hawking. Why?
It's actually bad.
Well, let's move on to our top story from Vanguard. Bribery, delay, and corruption normalized in judiciary. HEDE report. A non-government organization, Human and Environmental Development Agenda (HEDA) Resource Center has made a case for judicial dependency, saying financial independence is a threat to fairness and partiality of Nigerian judiciary. HEDA Resource Center says this in Lagos at the presentation of Volume 5 of its Leadership Approval Rating LAR report, which shows that corruption and bribery, delayed and bureaucracy, as well as mixed custom had been normalized in the justice system. Wow. It's not, how will I even say it? It's actually something that has become a norms in Nigeria where you see our lawyers and how will I say, the judge are riding on SUV because of a certain politician that they backed and support and bring election for. When you are a poor person and then you bring your, how will I say, your, and then you have issue with a powerful person or a wealthy person, you should know that even if you are wrong or you are right, you're going to suffer the consequences. And that is something that Nigerian judiciary does not have. They don't have a fair justice among the citizens. They don't have a good lawyers to actually fight for them.
Yeah.
Well, let's move on. More Nigerians will become poor by 2027, World Bank. The World Bank has reported that poverty will increase in Nigeria by 3 percentage points in 5 years to 2027. The World Bank made this projection in its African Pulse report released on the sideline of the ongoing spring meeting of the IMF and World Bank in Washington, D.C. The report, among other information, painted a drear picture of poverty in Nigeria, noting that while economic activity has shown some positive signs, the underlying challenges associated with resources, dependence, and fragility are projected to escalate poverty level, demanding focused and effective governance reform and exclusive economic policy.
Well, it's very obvious with the way things are really going on in the country. It's something we should be foreseeing already. Now that the World Bank has even made it obvious to everybody and made it clear that there will be more Nigerians, there will be more Nigerians who become poor in 2027. And I think that same 2027 is when the tenure of the president will be expiring. And
They already started a campaign for
no,
him.
it's even good that the World Bank has actually given us an upper edge. We should be knowing that definitely that things are going to be worse in this country. Obviously, are going to be worse because World Bank will not just come out and say things like this because they are the same people that have been lending us money without seeing the return of the money. So I believe there's more reasons to this, and the Nigerian economy really needs to get a reform back for us to be back to that level we should be before.
It's, well, I just hope for that. Let's move on. Why security challenge must be tackled now, governor? Worried by the worsened state of insecurity caused by increasing crime rates, bandits, kidnapping, and destruction of property across the country, the Nigerian Governor Forum (NGF) yesterday tasked security agencies to confront the security challenge directly, just as it set up a subcommittee to work with the head of security agency. Recall that three have been killing in Plateau and Benue states as well, and as other parts of the country by malandering herdsmen. The governor, after an extension National Executive Council (NEC) section in Abuja, also threw their weight at the Chief of Defense Staff innovative security initiative that would be designed to strengthen national and subnational capacity for early threat detection and coordinated response.
Now, we all know that Nigeria should be, with the way things are actually going, mostly in the north, there should be a state of emergency. I don't know if it's not, if how state of emergency really works in this country, because we saw what happened in River State just due to those word with the
Another
present
Senate.
governor and the senator. The president declared state of emergency. I believe this is the best time to declare state of emergency in those states because things are really going wrong in
Bad.
that state. I tell you, we need to really deploy military personnel. The chief of defense staff really needs to work together with all security directives to also really know what is really happening and what where all these things are actually come. The rate at which kidnapping is going up, banditry, trafficking, everything, killings of taking away lands, properties, and everything is really really alarming. Now we really need to focus on that.
I'm talking about that the security personnel, the military men needed to go into these certain places. I feels like all those military men has already been conquered by banditry and let me say insurgency and all that over the place. And then I feels like the more we talk about this Fulani headsmen that needed to be put in their place of how they you see some of the leaders, some of these Islamic claiming men that will come out that they are doing the work of God or they are doing the work of Allah, and then it's really disheartening. Nothing is being said about it. So far, it's going to come from the north. There's not going to be an action being taken about it. And I feel like are those people actually protect this this people, these terrorists, or what?
Well, I think they are being sponsored. There are so many people sponsoring these terrorists. For them to have that confidence to be able to go out on their operations without being detected, without being apprehended. We just hear stories about terrorists killed and this. The more you kill, the more they will put people. Most of all these people, they go into villages to attack. They pick the young ones there, the young men there. They pick them, initiate them into their groups and give them guns to shoot. So it's the more they go into lands to destroy, the more they go there, kidnap people, apprehend them. The ones that they feel they are very stubborn, they shoot them. Things like that. It happens.
And some of them that are being arrested, well, after being arrested, they say they put them in a rehabilitation center and then they were being pardoned and given some money. And then, so I don't even know what is wrong with Nigeria, but I just feel that we are on the right path. Well, we have come to the end of today's show. I've been your host, Bella. So don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. And until next week, see you and have a lovely day. Bye.